guys? It's your girl Anyango here, hoping that you are healthy, wealthy, and free, and loving your life. Alright, so back to the basics. I have a habit of once I've learned a particular thing, of course, once you go through a particular lesson, whether in life or even in school or something like that, you hardly ever go back to relearn that basic step because we assume that we have learned it and therefore we need to be moving on to the next step, onto the next level, right? That is normally the assumption. Progress. We want to progress. Constant, consistent progress. Upwards movement. Forward movement, never backwards, right? And sometimes I think in this game called life, we need to relearn some lessons. As mentioned, there is the law of atrophy, the fact that when we stop moving or stop progressing, then our default mode as humans is to go back to our negativity, go backwards and not stagnate. We do not stagnate. Once we stop doing things, then we tend to go backwards, to devolve, right? As mentioned previously, for example, if you leave a house, you've built a house and it's new and it's steady and strong, its foundation, its base is, perfect, and you leave it and do not live in it, the house starts to fall apart. The house falls apart faster than it would if people were actually living in it, if it was lived in and cared for and there was movement within it and things happening. If a house is just left there standing with no people, it starts to break down, it starts to decay. It starts to go backwards, right? Just like you have a plant, you buy it, it's all healthy, and all you're supposed to do is water it, give it some sunshine, some good loving, and then it grows. But you need to give it these things for it to continue. If you don't give it anything, it will not remain stagnant. It decays. It dies. So is man. So are we. If we stop progressing, then we start to decay. We go backwards, right? That is atrophy. So, back to basics is the point of the video. So, there's so many times when I feel like this constant progress or constant forward movement is sort of overwhelming. It's a pressure that I've put on myself, and I know sometimes does not really help me. And in these moments when I think I'm supposed to always be moving forward, that pressure makes me stop. And in my stopping, then I go backwards. I start to degress, if that's a word. Not digress, but degress. Opposite of progress. Opposite of pro. I don't know. But you get what I'm saying, right? And if I am not progressing, if I am degressing, I have to get the word, then it means that everything that I have, sorry about that. So it basically means that if I am degressing, then I am forgetting everything that I have previously learned, everything that started me up, or all my foundations, all my basics are also being forgotten or are degrading, right? So then there comes a time when I need to go back to my foundation, not just because I'm going backwards or I'm not progressing as I should, but sometimes just to remind me of why I began everything, of how this whole journey started, of why I started it. And I came across, or I got around this topic because in the beginning I talked a lot about Jim Rohn, and I found Jim Rohn from an Instagram post by Neo Daviso on Instagram. and he is an entrepreneur, really young guy doing great things. And he just mentioned this video. He actually put him on Instagram Live, and he was watching a Jim Rohn video on live with everybody else that was, or the followers that were watching with him. And that's how I discovered Jim Rohn. And he started me on all, well, not necessarily started me, because it's always a culmination of so many different things that start you on a particular path, right? But in terms of mentors, if you've watched my very first videos, there was a lot of Jim Rohn influence. And then that evolved into other people, Kobe Bryant, Chadwick recently, you know, and so many others along the way. And I was listening to Jim Rohn. I listened back to Jim Rohn, and I remembered, you know, like, every person, every speaker or motivational speaker or mentor that you have, you choose for a particular reason, and you listen to for a particular reason. And sometimes you tend to forget that as you go on in the journey, because, as mentioned, you feel that you've learned what you're supposed to learn from them, and you took a step forward to progress. And then once you listen to them again, it kind of takes you back to, but this was how I started. This was how I got to where I am now. And sometimes you need to go back to your basics in order to push you further. You know how they say for the bow and arrow, you need to pull that bow a little further back for it to go further forward. Just using that analogy in this particular case. And there's a video of Jim Rohn's, which I will try to put in the description below, where his is a very simple way of looking at it. And he basically asks or says, you need to know your why. He says there are 4 important questions that you need to answer for yourself. And this goes into the self-reliance part. 4 questions that you must answer for yourself in order to go anywhere, in order to do anything, in order to find your purpose. And he says 1 is you ask yourself why. Why am I doing this? Why do I want to start this? Why? I want to start it because I want to impact people. Why? It makes me feel good. Why? I feel like this is my purpose. Is that a strong enough why for me? Is this a strong enough why to push me to do this every day? Why am I doing this? I want to make money. Why? So I can live the best life that I possibly can. Why? Because I believe I deserve it. Why? Because I'm a human being on this earth, and I believe that I'm supposed to have all that I want. Is that a strong enough why for me? I think so. Right? And then he goes to the second question. Why not? Why not? I mean, you ask yourself, sometimes you ask yourself all of these whys, trying to get all these facts. And sometimes you just ask yourself, why not? Just do it, you know? Why not? Why shouldn't I do it? Why shouldn't I get all the money that I want? Why shouldn't I be happy? Why shouldn't I impact people's lives? Why shouldn't I make other people happy? Why not? And then he asks, why not me? If everybody else, or if there are people, and there are, who have been successful, why not me? If there are people who are rich, wealthy, why not me? If there are people who are happy, why not me? If there are people who are constantly helping other people, why not me? I mean, if this is something that I want to do, if it's something that I'm being pushed to do from something inside me, and other people have done it, why not me? Why should I wait for somebody else? If there's a change that I feel should be made, or a conversation that I feel should be had, why shouldn't I be the one to start it? Why shouldn't I be the one to have it? Why shouldn't I be the person that pushes it? Why not me? And then the last one, he says, why not now? Why wait for everything to be perfect? One thing that we know is the circumstances will never be perfect. It will never be the right time. If you're looking for a reason not to do it, you'll always find it. If you're looking for a reason why it shouldn't be you, why it shouldn't be me, I will find it. When the question is, why not me? Why not now? Why not during COVID-19? Why not in 2020? Why not in September? We're in September 2020. Why not in September 2020? Why not today? Why not today? Why not do these push-ups today? Why not now? Why not now? Just do it. Just start. You know, and something else that Jim Rohn says, because as you can get the gist of all this, is your basic question is why. And if you've heard of Simon Sinek, he also goes by the idea of you need to understand your why first, and then your what and your how become easier. But first you need the why. You need the reason that pushes you, and once it's pushed you hard enough, where there's a will, there's a way. If you really want to do it, then you'll figure out how. If you really want to do it, then it doesn't matter how many times you fail, because we don't believe in the word fail. Failure does not exist. Kobe said so. Does not exist. And if that is so, then I will always take this as the next iteration, the next trial, the next trial and error, right? Always, because I really want to get to this place. This is simply teaching me, maybe this is the how not, therefore how. Still a not, still a how not, how, still a how not, how. And if I really want to do it, then in the end I will figure it out or die trying. So your foundation or the basic needs to lie in your why. Why do I want to wake up early and go jogging? Because I want to stay healthy. Why? Because I know it's good for my body. Why? Because I have heard it from other people. But why? Why have they said it? Why am I listening to them? Because I want to live a healthy life. Why? So I can live a longer life. Why? So I can achieve all the things that I want to achieve in this life. Why? Because I believe I can, and I believe that I'm meant to. I'm meant to live the best life possible, and if I cannot do it in a healthy way, if I am not healthy enough to do it, then how am I going to live the best way I can? If I cannot breathe properly or move easily, or if my organs and everything inside me does not work right, then how am I going to achieve all these things, these huge, massive dreams that I want to achieve? I want to live the greatest life possible. I'm a simple person. All I want is everything. I love that phrase. All I want is everything. And to get everything, why not? Why not get everything? And why not me? Why shouldn't I be the one that gets everything? Why not now? Why can't I get everything now? And then it goes to the definition of your everything. What does everything mean to you? And yada, 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 right? But yes, I was talking about the... Jim Rohn is a big believer in, if you don't know how to do it, this I also heard from Steve Harvey, act as if you do. If I don't know how to do it, but I had to do it, what would I do? If you don't know how to do it, but somebody's done it before or done a version of it, then you read a book, Google, watch a video about how it's been done previously. And if there's nothing to show, then what if I did know? I would do something. if I did know how to do it, then I would do something. At least start somewhere. Start something. Start anything. Now, a friend of mine, Jimmy, recently posted a quote, a photo, something. I'll put it somewhere in the beginning, end of the video, where he basically says, or that photo basically says, I admire anybody that starts anything these days, because starting is not an easy thing to do. Starting is not a simple thing to do. And whether it's something as simple as, it says, a blog, YouTube channel, a podcast, anything, a conversation, a difficult conversation, a simple conversation, but you know in your mind that you're starting something for you, then why not start it? You know, like, I admire the person that's able to start. It doesn't matter how you start it, doesn't matter who you start it with. I also wanted to mention, it's gotten away from me now. Yes, Denzel. Denzel talks about it takes commitment to start, but it takes consistency to finish. So start because you have decided you're committed to it, you know your why, and then just try to keep doing it. Try to keep it consistent as you go forward to ensure that you complete it, that you finish it, that you try to finish it. But the very beginning is just starting. Get your why, get that reason that is getting you all fired up, and then go forward and go for it. Just start it and see what it blossoms into. Why? Why do I want to start it? Answer that question. Why not? Why shouldn't I start it? Why not me? Why shouldn't you be the one to start it? The conversation, the blog, the YouTube channel, the video, the book. And finally, why not now? Why not now? It's 2020. If not this year, then when? If not this 2020 with all that's happening, then when? Really? And once you've answered all your whys, just start. Just go ahead and do it. What's the worst that could happen? Worse things have happened. Literally. So just start. Okay, that's the jump for the day. I'm gonna see you in the next video. Ciao.